welcome to sharEvery Global Foundation, June 2nd. Guess what? We've got 7 months in this year, and what a wonderful way to start the new month off of June is to have our special coach that we have today, teaching us, leading us, guiding us. We just can't wait. Hi, I'm Coach Andrea, and I've been so excited for this opportunity. I'm grateful. But you know what? There's a saying in America, no man is an island. That means that we cannot do anything by ourselves. That means that we're going to have helpers. We're going to have assistants. We're going to have someone to help us make this presentation one of the best ones you've ever heard in your life. Wow. That's something to live up to, but I guarantee you that our coach will help you live up to it. So welcome. And I'm going to turn it over right now to our prime mover, Coach Kalyani.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for introducing me. And Rambabu sir, thank you so much. Special guest for our session today. And he is none other than our coach, Christopher Hampton. And he is a speaker, mentor, and a very prominent sharEverian from the United States. He is the CEO of Champ I Am organization. And this organization basically helps us in building strategies that challenge the leaders to break out of their comfort zone and bring out their inner champ, right? And Christopher is an empowering and energetic motivational speaker who empowers his audience with abundant transformational principles to achieve success in their profession, in their career. And today he is going to enlighten us about the healthy leader. So, Coach, please take over.
Thank you very much, Kayana. Thank you. It's always an honor to be a part of this platform where we can actually expand our influence together and impact the world. Again, my name is Chris Hampton, and they also know I'm also known as Champ I Am. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is the healthy leader. Okay, I love talking about leadership because I think leadership is a very important part of life. You're not a leader if you're by yourself. So if we are not living in a cave and we have to deal with anybody outside of our house, ourselves, you are a leader and you have to lead. You could be a single mother and have 3 children, right? You are a leader. If you are a husband and you have a family, you are a leader. If it's anyone outside of yourself, then leadership is a necessary soft skill that you need to have, and therefore you need to learn. So leadership is not something that you're born with. It's something, we're all born leaders because we're all born, and we're not born by ourselves, right? So again, it's something that we are developing on a day-to-day basis. My question to you is, how much time do you spend building your leadership skills intentionally? And when you talk about leading people, you have to talk about areas like, okay, communication, that's important, right? How we talk to one another, how we deal with one another, right? We understand that leadership is about influence and how we influence someone. So you know what? When the moment that you add someone to your circle, there is an impact. The moment that you add someone into your job other than yourself, you are influencing that person, and that person is influencing you. And what happens is when these two influences come together, it creates an environment. And how you choose to continue to deal with each other, it creates a culture. So if you are not developing your leadership skills intentionally, you lead yourself into having issues in your productivity, issues in how we relate with each other, There can be biases that we have and we never know because we never took the time to learn who's in our circle, right? And you're like, well, what does that have to do with being the healthy leader? I thought you were going to talk about eating fruits and vegetables. No, I'm not talking about eating fruits and vegetables, okay? I'm not talking about that type of health today. I am talking about a bigger picture of health because physical health is a part of it, but it should be the only thing. So what we're talking about today is that if, again, when you realize that you are impacting someone, then you want to make sure that your impact is intentional, right? And if you are suffering, you are not healthy. And what I mean is we have a lot of hurt leaders that are out there leading people. If you are hurt and you're not well in your body, it affects the people around you. If you are hurt and you're not helped and you're wounded in your spirit, it impacts the people that are around you. If you're not right in your mind, we already see that. If you're not right in your mind, you see leaders across the world right now, not right in their mind. It infects people. I don't know if you ever heard the expression, healed people, heal people, hurt people, hurt people. Put that thing in leadership terms. A hurt leader who is not healthy will hurt the people that are around them. A healed leader will heal those that are around them. Put it to the test. Put it to the test. Let them not be emotionally sound and they come to work. How is the environment? The environment is not healthy, right? So again, the very first person that you need to learn how to lead is not other people. The very first person that you have to learn how to lead is yourself. And I want you to do a self-evaluation today on the health of you as a whole. And the reason why at the root that unhealthy leaders are unhealthy is because there is a failure to deal with the issues of themselves. They think they separate the issues that they are dealing with and the task that they are assigned to deal with, thinking that one does not deal with the other. But if you don't deal with one, it will deal with the other, right? And toxic leadership stems from. The root of toxic leadership is when you let the things that you are supposed to be dealing with go sour in your life. When you let the areas that you really should be having your hands on and dealing with, and you let those go aside and you focus on the task, what happens is the task becomes toxic. Everyone who's connected to the task becomes toxic with you. So if you're ever in a toxic environment, even when you're not the main leader, I need you to do a health check to see how you're doing. And then you realize how you are contributing to the culture, how you're contributing to the environment. So I'll say, Miss Susie comes into the office and she's toxic. And she brings her toxicity in there, right? And she said, well, they just don't care about us. And then you go on and Mr. B writes on the other side and he'll say, well, you know what? They don't treat us right. What you just did was you opened the door for your toxicity to come into yourself. So that's why I said, don't just look at the leader, because you're a leader too. How are you dealing with yourself? And the reason why most leaders are toxic, that are fighting their toxicity, when you see a toxic leader, I don't want to say all leaders, but there is a good portion of leaders that are toxic. And we said the reason why is because they focus on the task and not themselves. And they separate themselves from the task, thinking that if I do the task right, everything else is going to be all right. The reason why most leaders are falling short in that area and they fall into that trap and they fall into the toxicity trap is because they don't make space to heal. Now, when I say space, it's an acronym. When I say heal, it's an acronym. So on your piece of paper, I want you to write S, then under the S put P, under the P put A, then a C, and then an E, and then do the same thing with heal. Write it long ways down, and then write H, and under the E, then under the E, the A, and then L for heal. Okay? So let's talk about space first. The reason why people are going through the same cycles over and over in their life is because they haven't created the space to heal. If you don't do it, if you don't create a space to heal in your life, and under these mindsets, what you're doing is you're putting a Band-Aid on a wound. And a Band-Aid is not supposed to be forever. A Band-Aid is supposed to be a temporary place of healing until the body catches up and to be able to heal itself, right? But if you keep a bloody Band-Aid over a wound for too long, it becomes infected. So I don't need Band-Aids. We need to make sure that we have actual steps. So the first letter is S. And how are you doing in your spiritual care and your spiritual maintenance? Now, I'm not talking religious now. Okay? We have many religions that are probably represented in the room today, right? But at the core of every religion that you still say, we still recognize, and even psychology recognize that we have an inner man or an inner person that we have to deal with. If we were talking in psychology, we would say what? Subconscious. If we were talking in the church, we would say your spirit. But now I'm talking to everyday people today, I'm just going to say that inner person. If you don't make time to deal with the inner person, you can focus on your outer person, your physical muscles, your diet. But if that inner person is not aligned with your body and your goals, you'll find out that you'll be a strong body, but a weak subconscious or a weak spirit. In our maintenance time, we have meditation. What are you taking time to be able to rehearse in your mind? Because meditation is about rehearsing something over and over and over again. And whether you realize it or not, we are all meditating on something. But when you come off of work, what do you meditate on yourself about? What do you say to yourself in your mind? And what are you rehearsing over and over and over and over and over in your mind? Are you rehearsing that I'm a failure? Oh, I'm rehearsing that I am a poor leader, or I'm a bad husband, or I cannot make ends meet. What are you telling yourself in your downtime, in your spiritual time? What books are you reading in those spiritual things that are feeding your spiritual person, that inner man, and developing that inner person? Because we all have him. We all have that energy that's on the inside, whether you want to call it psychological or spiritual. If you neglect the care of your inward person, you will deteriorate from the inside out. So we said spiritual care. P is our personal balance. Our personal balance, boundaries, and care. Sometimes we are so task related that we will take care of everyone else, but we fail to take care of ourselves. What is your personal balance when it comes to taking care of yourself? I was a caretaker for my mother before she passed. I was a caretaker for my mother for over 17 years. I mean, not 17 years, since I was 17. Because my mother had a mental illness called bipolar disorder. So she would go into crisis mode. And when she would go into crisis mode, her mind would break down. And I would have to catch her. And I would have to put her into a behavioral health or a psychiatric institution at the age of 17. So if being in a caretaker mode, I am a leader when it comes to the health of my mother's care. But if I did not balance my care for my mother, for my care to myself, I could not help my mother. I had to set up boundaries for my family. I would say, hey, you're not here 24 hours. You can't say that. I set up boundaries. Because everybody, when things go wrong, they have something they can say. So I allowed boundaries to be my protection, because if I didn't let my personal boundaries, it would affect me spiritually. And it would affect me bodily. When you're on the job, you have to set up boundaries of what you allow people to speak around you. People respect what you respect. If you let filth and unequal conversation and unhealthy conversations and gossip and all that's in there and it's not productive, if you allow that in your circle, they will continue to give it. But if you put a boundary up, it protects you. And it also will protect your productivity. So we said your spiritual care and maintenance is important. Your personal balance and boundaries and your personal care is important. A is your affirmational space. What is it? Affirmations are cute now. Affirmations are popular now. Because they're like, today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a good day. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I am powerful. Right. Those are great. Affirmations are what you're telling yourself every day that you can be. But affirmation is what you're telling yourself that you can think you can be. As manifested to you. It hasn't taken a root yet. But you're disciplining your mind by saying these are the statements that I'm going to be debt-free. Right? I want to be debt-free. I'm going to be debt-free. Then what happens is with affirmations build up your confidence till it gives you to an actionable step. So what are you saying to yourself? Are you imbalanced in how you talk to you? When you're talking to yourself as a leader, are you saying negative? Just be conscious of what you're talking about. I would take a negative sheet and every time you think a negative thought about yourself, put a check mark on there. Are you encouraged? Be ready for an answer. Be ready for an answer. Do I gossip a lot? Be ready for an answer. Be ready. Do I build up? And also some people say, Chris, you have a narrow view sometimes. Okay, I can take that too. How are you talking to yourself? Affirmation was just talking. The confession is a result of what you've been doing. E is so important because we don't talk about this as leaders. And that's the reason why we have some of the most dysfunctional leaders that are out there leading people is our emotional care and attention. A psychologist had a wheel and it had over 100,000 different type of emotions. How many emotions can you number? Probably like 6. Happy, sad, angry, anxious, worried, and depressed. But there are over 100,000 type of emotions, and we are not emotionally intelligent to be emotionally aware of those combinations because we don't know how to express our emotions. Why? Because we are in a society that looks at emotions as weaknesses. But emotions are different warning bells. Emotions are different alarm systems. And if you're not aware of the alarm system, then you're not aware of where the problem is. You can't put a plan to address something that you won't acknowledge. So as a leader, we have to create the space that we can heal. So my last part is to heal. It's talking about how do you heal. Anybody want to know how to heal? Anybody like, I'm missing a few of those things and I need to learn how to heal? All right, I know it's not me. Because listen, I need to know because every now and then one of those space words and one of those space letters goes off of whack. And this is what helps me. The acronym that I'm going to give you now helps me because when I realized that I needed, the first letter is H, help yourself. E is encourage yourself. I'm almost done. E is encourage yourself. Realizing that you're on a healing journey. and that a lot of this stuff didn't happen overnight. And a lot of these things are going to be able to take overnight, and people are not going to understand your journey. This is a journey. You realize that this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. And you know what? And everybody's judging me, everybody's thinking me, but I need to go up. I have to encourage myself, even though nobody can see the way through. I got to encourage me, even if nobody can see that I can be healthy. And though everybody thinks I'm toxic, I got to encourage me because I see where I'm going to. And I need to influence the people around me. I don't want to hurt people no more. So I got to encourage because I see the end result. But I accept myself. Some days I'm inconsistent. Some days I procrastinate. Some days I'm just straight up lazy. Now, I'm not going to accept that behavior. I'm accepting that it's there. And I'm accepting responsibility for what happens. And I'm also accepting that I have to make a plan to get better in those areas. Last and most important is you have to love yourself. Say that with me. I have to love myself. If you don't love yourself, you're going to lead from a position of, I want the people to love me. And you can't deal with people like that. That is an expectation that's going to lead to heartbreak and disappointment because people are not consistent in the way that love needs to be. You know, I come from the Christian background, so when we break down love, we say the word agape. And the word agape means unconditional love. You have to love yourself unconditionally. I don't love me, I'm going to love me some me. Right? Because I'm going to love me some me. And then what's coming from me now, when people are impacted by my influence, they're impacted by a healthier leader. My name is Chris Hampton. I'm Champ I Am, and I love sharing on this sharEvery. I hope you walked away with some bits and some knowledge.
Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you so much. Next, we're going to have for 5 minutes to review by Coach Preeti. Coach, take it away for us, please.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you so much to Rambabu sir to give me this opportunity. And what a wonderful speech today we had. The topic is the healthy leader. So, like this is one of the interesting topic that I have come across, and definitely we are the energy, and the way we build ourselves, we spread our energy across to our people. I truly believe in that. We all are born leader, what he said, and the leadership, it is about influencing. So it goes as you influence, like as you are influence yourself, you will influence them. If someone is sad or hurt, so he will create the environment which is very hurtful for the society or people around him. If you yourself are toxic, you'll create a toxic environment. And if you yourself are healer, you'll heal people around you and you'll create more healer. He further went and added his personal experience, which gives a very touching meaning to the entire concept that we had heard today. And I'm really very grateful for you, Mr. Christopher Hampton, that you brought this topic today. As we all are facing in today's world, there are so many hatred around us. So we should not be that. So we should take time for ourselves to create a space to heal and spread the positivity around us. So what he said, that you create an energy and influence the energy around you. Secondly, he also mentioned that unhealthy leader will have the issues and they need to heal so that the people are healthy and unhurt around him. So very well said. Then how he defined that you should create a space to heal. So how we can do that? So he said that space, he has elaborated space. Space, you can say for S, it goes as SPACE. So we will elaborate each one thing. S for spiritual or for your self-consciousness or your subconscious mind. So you can heal with meditation and going inwards and taking spiritual care. Then he said, like, personal space. You should create a personal boundaries. You should not let any other people influence ourselves, so that we also get into that energy. So we should create that personal boundary so that they don't come in our space. Affirmation, very well said. Affirmation, we have to channelize ourselves with very positive affirmation, so that we are programmed, our mind is programmed to create something better. Affirmation is what you're talking to yourself. And one thing that I really agree to, that the confession. Sometimes we say, like, I believe into this, I'm good, I'm great, I'm doing well for myself, I'm healthy. But confession, like, do you really believe that? So what you need to believe is it should be true. And so you should confess to yourself, and you should channelize it, and do something more better to create something better for you. Emotion, acknowledge your emotion. We see that most of the time, say, like, you're emotionally weak, you're very emotional, and this and that. We all come across it, but emotions are also our strength. There are so many emotions that we have, and we have to acknowledge those emotions. Sometimes we ourselves don't understand those emotions. So take a small break, understand your emotion. If you understand, okay. If not, go ahead. Secondly, heal. So heal again, he has break down the words HEAL. So heal, H for help yourself. Like, you can take help of therapist or psychiatrist. There is no harm in that. You should understand that everyone needs help and be open to help, may whatever it may be. E, encourage yourself. Definitely, no one is going to encourage yourself other than yourself. So take step for yourself. And it is your own journey. So acknowledge your own journey and encourage yourself, no matter if no one is encouraging you at all. Okay, don't wait for others. Accept yourself with your own weakness and flaws. Yeah, who is going to accept your flaws other than yourself? So accept your flaws, work towards it, see how you can do better, learn something better, and go ahead, like we all do in our SGF platform, right? Love yourself, definitely. Love yourself unconditionally. No matter how much you love people around you, they are going to break your heart. But your subconscious mind, your God, your consciousness is never going to, hurt you. So whatever you believe into your God, or you believe in your subconscious mind, you believe in universe, love them, and you'll never be hurt. This was the wonderful session, and with that, I would like to end my review today. Thank you so much, SGF platform, and all lovely people. It was wonderful today. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.